NBC5 News Today begins with breaking news.
Chaos at our nation's capital. Violent supporters of President Trump storming the building, and many lawmakers forced to shelter and evacuate.
Capitol Police just announced that there was a breach.
The president-elect speaking up.
Our democracy is under unprecedented assault.
The fallout this morning from a violent day in D.C., plus the lawmakers staying through the night, working to certify the 2020 election.
And that election at this hour is certified. Here's a live look from Washington, where early this morning, Congress decided the electoral vote count, certifying Joe Biden will be the next president of the United States, and the current president, Donald Trump, saying there will be an orderly transition of power. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
NBC5 News Today starts now.
This morning, still too close to call.
Frankly, we did win this election.
We believe we're on track to win this election.
The presidential race in question after historic voter turnout.
But closer to home, several races decided.
It did exceed my expectations, and I'm really humbled.
Thank you to this great state. Let's get back to work.
The people have spoken.
We're live with all the results you need to know.
Plus, the results still coming in on this Wednesday, November 4th, 2020.
You're watching NBC5 News.
Now back to that breaking news from Orange County, Vermont. Flames ripping through a church in Williamstown. Viewers sent us videos like this showing just how devastating it was.
Yeah, this is all happening at the Williamstown United Federated Church, right in the center of the town along Route 14.
NBC5's Lauren Granada joins us live from there. Now, Lauren, you just spoke with firefighters moments ago. What are they saying?
Well, Sarah Beth and Tom Cruise we're live in Williamstown. Lauren Granada, NBC5 News.
Lauren, thanks.
Looks like...
Well, you can see that steeple really just coming down. Yeah, Lauren, thanks so much.
You're watching NBC5 News.
Welcome back, 642. We want to remind you of that breaking news we've been telling you about all morning long, a fire leaving a Vermont church building in shambles.
On your left is video from overnight as flames ripped through the Williamstown United Federated Church on Route 14. It happened just after 10, and then on your right is what's left, a live look from the scene where crews have knocked down the tower from that building. Just a couple of minutes ago, you saw that steeple come down live here on NBC5.
Yeah, and firefighters tell us, thankfully, no one was hurt in all of this. At this point, we're still working to find out about a cause. Stay with NBC5 as we closely monitor this breaking news.
NBC5 News Today starts with first warning weather.
Winter wallop. A seriously messy morning commute is ahead as snow falls throughout the region. This is a live look from Plattsburgh, or at least what you can see of it, because snow and sleet is falling there. And first warning storm tracker shows what we're dealing with from north to south. Snow, sleet, and perhaps some freezing rain in spots. Thanks for waking up with us here at NBC5 News this morning. I'm Tom Garris. Today is Tuesday, February 16th. Many schools are delayed or closed, so you'll want to keep a check on the bottom of your screen there. We have live team coverage for you from all over the Champlain Valley and beyond. Live reports from northern New York and Vermont are coming right up, along with more from Sarah Beth Ackerman, too. But first, we need to check in with first warning meteorologist Caitlin Napoleone. Caitlin, where do we stand with things right now?
Well, it's pretty much a mess. Progresses. Tom, back to you.
Caitlin, thanks. Road crews across our region are tackling this storm in full force. Here's a live look from all of the plows from the Vermont Agency of Transportation, hard at work across the state. Let's go to NBC5's Lauren Granada this morning, who is live in St. Albans for us with a check of what roads are looking like there. Hey, Lauren, good morning. What are you seeing?
Tom, good morning. Well, the flakes have really changed here. We're live in St. Albans. Lauren Granada, NBC5 News.
Lauren, thanks. You can see Taylor Park there in St. Albans. This morning, snowfall also causing issues in northern New York, too. That area expected to see a lot of snow. NBC5's Brandon Menard joins us live from Plattsburgh now with a check of conditions there. Brandon, where are you at and what are you seeing?
Good morning, Tom. Live in Plattsburgh, Brandon Menard, NBC5 News.
Yeah, no doubt they'll have their hands full. Brandon, thank you. This morning, power outages are a concern in some places, especially to our south. Green Mountain Power is keeping a close eye on things this morning. They say crews are ready to respond to outages.
It can happen with wind, it can happen with heavy snow, heavy wet snow, it could happen with ice, but we're just encourage people anytime you see a downed line, no matter for what reason, just assume that it's energized and stay well away from it and give us a call.
You can be sure we'll be closely tracking this storm for you all morning. Download the MyNBC5 mobile app now and turn on the alerts so you're in the loop as this storm moves through. We have a clearer picture of what life could look like just 3 months from now in Vermont.
Governor Phil Scott unveiling what he calls a roadmap to reopening. It has 3 steps, and we want to walk you through it.
Now let's start with number 1, of course. It begins this Friday. Here's what it means for you. You can travel again over state lines without quarantining when returning to Vermont. However, you must get a COVID-19 test within 3 days of returning if you are not fully vaccinated. Masks are still required. Outdoor businesses and low-contact businesses may fully reopen.
Step 2 begins on May 1st. Larger groups can gather, and there are limits for those not fully vaccinated. Restrictions may loosen for businesses, and including restaurants, hair salons, and places of worship. Masks will still be required.
On June 1st, Step 3 kicks in, and this is when the plan really starts to loosen on those restrictions. At this point, all travel, quarantine, and testing requirements will end, and large indoor gatherings will be allowed without limits if people are vaccinated. And assuming people do follow the plan, fireworks on the 4th of July as restrictions will completely come to an end. Officials say this will all depend, though, on personal responsibility.
Yeah, the Scott administration says even though there's a lot of virus still going around, cases are slowing, and the governor thinks this is a good plan. And we know that this is a lot of information that we're throwing at you. So you can access the full plan by opening up the MyNBC5 mobile app or going to our website at mynbc5.com.
Time now, 6:35. Let's take a walk around the region as state leaders are loosening travel restrictions. This morning, anyone coming into New Hampshire from any state no longer needs a quarantine. It's now only a recommendation, but this applies to domestic travelers, not international. The same thing is set to happen in New York State in a couple of weeks. Starting on April 1st, that 2-week quarantine will remain recommended but no longer mandated next month. Again, this only applies to people traveling from other U.S. states. Vermont, on the other hand, as things have been through this pandemic, remains more strict. At this point, it has only lifted travel restrictions for those who are fully vaccinated. However, we do expect to hear more about the state's travel policy at today's COVID-19 briefing.
This morning, progress is being made in the effort to get Americans vaccinated against COVID-19.
As of right now, more than 171 million doses have been given out across the country.
That's more than a third of Americans now have received at least one shot of the vaccine. That's about 109 million people. In New York's North Country, nearly 135,000 people have been fully vaccinated so far. In New Hampshire, nearly 258,000 Granite Staters are fully vaccinated. And in Vermont, just over 141,000 people have completed their doses.